awkward silence. How to Never Be Tongue-Tied Again. Written and published by Mindsmor. The air crackled with anticipation. Not the electric buzz before a concert or the hushed expectancy in a theater, but a different kind of tension, a subtle unease that hung heavy in the room. Across the crowded cocktail lounge, eyes met, smiles flashed, and polite introductions were exchanged. Yet, beneath the veneer of social pleasantries, a silent struggle was unfolding. Have you ever felt it? That creeping dread as a conversation sputters and stalls, leaving you stranded in a sea of awkward silence. The desperate scramble for a witty remark, a captivating anecdote, anything to fill the void and reignite the fading spark. We've all been there. That knot in your stomach at a networking event, the strained small talk at a family gathering, the missed opportunity to connect with someone intriguing. Conversations, the very building blocks of human connection, can sometimes feel like treacherous terrain, riddled with hidden pitfalls and unexpected dead ends. But what if I told you that those awkward silences, those fumbled exchanges, are not signs of personal failure, but rather stepping stones to a more confident, connected you? What if those moments of conversational paralysis could be transformed into opportunities for genuine connection, deeper understanding, and even unexpected joy? This book is your guide to navigating the intricate landscape of human communication. It's not about memorizing clever lines or mastering manipulative tactics. It's about unlocking the innate communicator within you, the one who can effortlessly engage, inspire, and build bridges with others through the power of authentic conversation. We'll embark on a journey of self-discovery, exploring the hidden dynamics that shape our interactions. You'll learn to decode the subtle language of pauses, master the art of re-engagement, and cultivate an unshakable inner calm that radiates confidence. This is not just another self-help book. It's an invitation to a transformation that begins with a single word, a shared laugh, a moment of genuine connection. It's a journey that will empower you to conquer the fear of awkward silences, transform those dreaded lulls into opportunities for deeper engagement. Build unshakable confidence, approach any conversation with poise and authenticity. Create meaningful connections, forge lasting bonds through the power of genuine communication. Unlock your true potential. Discover how mastering conversation can transform your personal and professional life. Turn the page, and let's begin. We appreciate your support in helping us produce more content for you, so please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Chapter 1. The Conversational Compass, Charting Your Course to Confidence. The room buzzed with a nervous energy that Emily could practically taste. It wasn't the champagne or the canapes. It was the thick atmosphere of forced smiles and strained small talk that permeated the air. This wasn't her first networking event, but the familiar dread still coiled in her stomach. Each new introduction felt like a performance, a desperate dance to impress, to connect, to matter. As she navigated the sea of suits and name tags, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that she was missing something. She'd practiced her elevator pitch, memorized industry jargon, and even mastered the art of the perfectly firm handshake. Yet, despite her meticulous preparation, conversations fizzled out like damp fireworks. Polite nods, fleeting exchanges, and then that awkward silence. The kind that stretches on for an eternity, leaving a bitter aftertaste of missed opportunity. Does this resonate with you? Have you ever felt that pang of frustration? That sense of disconnect, even in a room full of people? Perhaps you, like Emily, have wondered why some individuals seem to effortlessly navigate the social landscape, while others stumble through conversations like they're traversing a minefield. The truth is, conversation is more than just an exchange of words. It's a delicate dance, a symphony of verbal and nonverbal cues that can either build bridges or create barriers. And while some may seem to possess an innate talent for it, the reality is that effective communication is a skill, one that can be learned, honed, and mastered. This book is your invitation to a transformative journey. It's not about becoming a social butterfly or a smooth-talking charmer. It's about discovering the authentic communicator within you, the one who can connect with others on a deeper level, build meaningful relationships, and navigate any social situation with grace and confidence. What you'll achieve. As you embark on this journey, you'll discover that the power of conversation extends far beyond simply filling awkward silences. It's a catalyst for personal and professional growth, a tool for building trust and understanding, and a key to unlocking a more fulfilling and connected life. Through the chapters ahead, you'll develop unshakable confidence. Imagine walking into any room, whether it's a boardroom or a birthday party, with a quiet sense of assurance. You'll learn to manage those butterflies in your stomach, transforming nervous energy into positive engagement. No more dreading social interactions. Instead, you'll approach them with curiosity and excitement. Master the art of conversational flow. Ever wondered how some conversations seem to glide effortlessly from one topic to the next, while others feel like a bumpy ride on a dirt road? You'll gain a deep understanding of the natural rhythm of dialogue, learning to anticipate conversational cues, navigate potential hurdles, and steer the conversation with finesse. Reduce social anxiety, that nagging voice in your head that whispers doubts and fears. You'll learn to silence it, replacing self-criticism with self-compassion. Through mindfulness techniques and practical strategies, you'll develop the tools to manage anxiety and approach social situations with a calm and centered mind. Build deeper, more meaningful relationships. Conversations are the threads that weave together the fabric of our connections. By mastering the art of communication, you'll create a space for genuine connection, empathy, and understanding. Imagine forging stronger bonds with your loved ones, building trust with colleagues, and leaving a lasting impression on everyone you meet. The path to conversational mastery. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey that requires commitment, self-reflection, and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone. But don't worry, you don't have to navigate this path alone. This book will be your guide, providing a clear roadmap and practical tools to help you every step of the way. Our journey begins with self-reflection. Take a moment to consider your current communication style. What are your strengths? Are you a good listener? Do you have a knack for storytelling? What about your weaknesses? Do you tend to overthink in social situations? Do you struggle to find the right words? By understanding your unique patterns, you can identify specific areas for improvement and build upon your existing strengths. Next, we'll focus on mental preparation. This isn't about memorizing scripts or rehearsing lines. It's about cultivating a mindset that is open, receptive, and ready to engage. We'll explore techniques to calm your nerves, center your focus, and approach conversations with a sense of curiosity and purpose. Finally, we'll delve into the importance of gradual practice. Just like any skill, conversation improves with experience. We'll start with small, manageable interactions, gradually building your confidence and expanding your comfort zone. You'll learn to turn everyday encounters into opportunities for growth, honing your skills in low-pressure situations before tackling more challenging interactions. The conversational landscape. Think of a conversation as a dance. There's a natural rhythm, a give and take, a flow of ideas and emotions between the participants. This conversational flow is what makes dialogue feel effortless and engaging. But just like any dance, there can be missteps, stumbles, and moments where the rhythm falters. One of the keys to mastering conversation is learning to recognize these potential hurdles. Is there a lull in the topic? Has a misunderstanding arisen? Are external distractions pulling focus away from the interaction? By becoming aware of these subtle cues, you'll be better equipped to navigate around them, keeping the conversation flowing smoothly and enjoyably for everyone involved. Confidence and self-awareness, your inner compass. Confidence is not about arrogance or bravado. It's about feeling comfortable in your own skin, trusting your voice, and believing in your ability to connect with others. Self-awareness is the compass that guides you on this journey. Identifying your strengths is a powerful exercise in building conversational confidence. Perhaps you have a knack for asking insightful questions, or maybe you're skilled at putting others at ease with your warm demeanor. Recognizing and leveraging these strengths can provide a significant boost to your conversational abilities. Equally important is accepting your anxieties. It's perfectly normal to feel nervous in social situations, especially when faced with the prospect of awkward silences or challenging conversations. The key is not to eliminate these anxieties entirely, an impossible task, but to learn to manage them effectively. We'll explore techniques to reframe those nervous feelings as excitement, using them to fuel engaging interactions rather than hindering them. The power of preparation. Preparation is not about memorizing topics or rehearsing lines. It's about cultivating an attitude of openness and curiosity. When you approach conversations with genuine interest in others and a willingness to share of yourself, you create an environment where dialogue can flourish. However, it's crucial to strike a balance between authenticity and strategy. While preparation is valuable, over-rehearsing can lead to stilted, unnatural interactions. The goal is to be prepared enough to feel confident, but flexible enough to respond genuinely to the ebb and flow of the conversation. As we conclude this first step in your journey to mastering the art of conversation, remember that the skills we've discussed are just the beginning. In the chapters to come, we'll delve deeper into specific techniques for recognizing conversational cues, re-engaging during lulls, and smoothly transitioning between topics. The path ahead is filled with opportunities for growth and connection. By establishing a steady footing in your approach to communication, you're laying the groundwork for transformative changes in your social and professional life. As you move forward, keep in mind that every interaction is a chance to practice and refine your skills. What lies beyond this chapter? A world of richer, more meaningful connections awaits. You'll discover how to navigate even the most challenging conversational terrains with grace and confidence. But for now, focus on internalizing these foundational concepts, reflect on your communication patterns, begin developing your mental preparation routine, and look for opportunities to practice in your daily life. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. You've taken that step by engaging with this material. As you continue through this book, you'll find each chapter building upon the last, providing you with a comprehensive toolkit for masterful communication. Embrace the process, celebrate your progress, and get ready to transform your conversational landscape. The path to confident, engaging dialogue lies ahead, and you're well on your way to mastering it. Chapter 2. The Silent Saboteurs. Unmasking the hidden forces that derail your conversations. The laughter died down, the anecdote reached its punchline, and then silence. Not a comfortable silence, the kind that invites reflection or a shared smile, but a heavy, expectant silence that seemed to suck the air out of the room. Mark felt his heart quicken, his palms dampen, and his mind, just moments ago brimming with witty banter, suddenly became a blank slate. The words he'd been about to utter evaporated, leaving him stranded in a conversational wasteland. We've all experienced these moments, haven't we? Those sudden lulls in conversation that feel less like pauses and more like gaping chasms. They're the conversational equivalent of a record scratch, abruptly halting the flow and leaving us feeling off kilter, even embarrassed. But these silent struggles are more than just awkward interruptions. They're windows into the complex world of human interaction, where our deepest fears and insecurities can suddenly take center stage. In this chapter, we'll venture into the heart of these silent struggles, exploring the hidden forces that can turn a simple lull into an anxiety-inducing ordeal. But more importantly, we'll discover how understanding these moments can transform our approach to communication, turning potential pitfalls into opportunities for deeper connection. Shining a light on the shadows. Imagine you're setting sail on a long voyage. The sun is shining, the seas are calm, and the horizon stretches out before you, promising adventure and discovery. But even on the clearest of days, a seasoned sailor knows to keep a watchful eye on the horizon, scanning for the subtle signs of an approaching storm. Darkening clouds, a shift in the wind, a sudden drop in temperature. These are the early warnings that allow the sailor to prepare, to adjust course, or even to seek shelter before the storm hits. The conversations are much like voyages. They can be smooth sailing, filled with laughter and shared understanding, or they can be turbulent, fraught with misunderstandings and unexpected challenges. And just like the sailor, a skilled communicator learns to recognize the early warning signs of conversational breakdowns, those subtle cues that signal potential turbulence ahead. Why is this so important? Because by shining a light on the root causes of these silent struggles, we empower ourselves to prevent them. We gain the ability to anticipate those moments of hesitation, those fleeting instances of uncertainty that can derail a conversation before it even gets going. With this awareness, we can navigate around the turbulence, steer the conversation in a new direction, or even use the challenges to our advantage, deepening the connection and creating a more meaningful exchange. Unmasking the usual suspects. So what are these roadblocks that stand in our way? These silent saboteurs that can hijack our conversations and leave us feeling tongue-tied. Let's unmask some of the most common culprits. Social anxiety, the conversation killer for many of us. Social anxiety casts a long shadow over our interactions. It's not just about feeling nervous, it's a complex web of thoughts and emotions that can make even the simplest exchanges feel daunting. Imagine walking into a networking event, a room full of strangers, each a potential judge of your social skills. The fear of saying the wrong thing, of being perceived as boring or awkward, can be paralyzing. This anxiety affects not only what we say, but how we say it. Our body language might become closed off, our voice might waver, and our minds might race, desperately searching for the perfect thing to say, while the opportunity for genuine connection slips away. Mismatched expectations. When reality bites, we often enter conversations with preconceived notions about how they should unfold. We expect a casual chat with a colleague to stay light and professional, or a dinner with friends to be filled with laughter and shared stories. But what happens when reality doesn't align with these expectations? What if your colleague suddenly delves into a deeply personal issue, or your friends fall into a heated debate? This mismatch can throw us off balance, leaving us feeling unprepared and unsure how to respond. The resulting hesitation can quickly spiral into an awkward silence, leaving us feeling like we've stumbled off the conversational dance floor. Confronting the inner demons. As we peel back the layers of these silent struggles, we come face to face with some of our deepest psychological barriers, those inner demons that whisper doubts and fuel our anxieties. The fear of judgment. A legacy of our past, this fear is deeply ingrained in our evolutionary wiring. As social creatures, acceptance by our peers has always been crucial for survival. In modern times, this translates to a heightened sensitivity to how others perceive us. When we're caught in the grip of this fear, every word we utter feels like it's under a microscope. We second-guess ourselves, wondering if our contributions are witty enough, intelligent enough, or valuable enough. This internal critic can be relentless, leading to overthinking patterns that disrupt our ability to engage naturally in conversation. Overthinking. The conversational quicksand. Overthinking in conversation is like trying to dance while constantly analyzing your every move. You become so focused on getting each step right that you lose the rhythm and flow, the joy of the dance itself. This excessive self-monitoring can lead to hesitations, awkward pauses, and a general sense of disconnection from the conversation. Instead of being present and engaged, we're trapped in our own heads, battling a torrent of self-doubt and second-guessing. Reframing the silence. What if, instead of viewing silences as awkward gaps to be filled, we saw them as natural pauses in the conversational landscape? What if we embraced those moments of quietude, allowing them to breathe life into our interactions rather than suffocating them? This shift in perspective can be transformative. Viewing pauses as neutral rather than inherently negative can alleviate much of the pressure we feel in conversations. After all, silence isn't always a sign that something has gone wrong. Sometimes it's a moment for reflection, a chance to gather our thoughts, or simply a natural ebb in the flow of dialogue. By normalizing these natural lulls, we can approach conversations with greater ease and authenticity. Instead of scrambling to fill every moment with words, we can learn to be comfortable in the quiet spaces, allowing for deeper reflection and more meaningful connections to emerge, turning insight into action. Now that we've explored the hidden forces that can derail our conversations, it's time to turn these insights into action. Here are some practical steps you can take to manage those silent saboteurs. Become an observer. The next time you're in a social situation, try to notice the moments when you feel tension or hesitation creeping in. What triggers these feelings? How do they affect your ability to engage in the conversation? By becoming more aware of your own reactions, you can start to identify the underlying causes and develop strategies to manage them. Embrace mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of bringing your attention to the present moment without judgment. Instead of getting caught up in worries about what to say next, focus on your breath, the sounds around you, or the sensations in your body. This grounding can help prevent the spiral of overthinking that often leads to awkward silences. As you implement these strategies, you'll likely find that you're able to recognize those moments of hesitation earlier, before they escalate into full-blown awkward silences. You'll become more adept at navigating those quiet spaces, transforming them from moments of anxiety into opportunities for deeper connection. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate silences entirely. That would create a different kind of awkwardness, a forced and unnatural flow. Instead, it's about developing the awareness and skills to navigate these moments with grace and confidence, turning potential pitfalls into stepping stones for more meaningful communication. Chapter 3. Decoding the pause, unveiling the hidden language of silence in conversation. Imagine a symphony orchestra poised to perform a masterpiece. The conductor raises their baton, a hush falls over the audience, and then a pregnant pause. Not an empty silence, but a charged moment filled with anticipation, a breath held before the first notes cascade through the concert hall. This pause, this deliberate space, is not an absence of sound, but an integral part of the music itself. Conversations, too, have their own symphony of sounds and silences. We often focus on the words, the melodies of our exchanges, but the pauses, those seemingly empty spaces between the notes, hold a power we rarely acknowledge. They are the commas, the semicolons, the ellipses that punctuate our dialogues, shaping meaning and creating rhythm. In this chapter, we'll delve into the hidden language of pauses, discovering how these brief interludes in conversation are far from empty. They are rich with meaning, pregnant with potential, waiting to be recognized and harnessed. Think of it as developing a sixth sense for conversation, an ability to anticipate the natural ebb and flow of dialogue, just as a seasoned musician can sense the next note in a melody. The power of anticipation, staying ahead of the silence. Imagine a tightrope walker gracefully traversing a high wire. With each step, they make subtle adjustments, shifting their weight, extending their arms, constantly anticipating the next move to maintain balance and avoid a fall. Similarly, in conversation, we must learn to anticipate the natural rhythms, the shifts in momentum, and the subtle cues that signal an approaching pause. This awareness isn't about filling every moment with words, desperately trying to avoid any hint of silence. It's about understanding the ebb and flow of conversation, recognizing when a pause is not a stumble, but a natural part of the dance. By preparing ourselves to identify these pauses before they become awkward silences, we equip ourselves with a powerful tool. It's like having an early warning system for conversation. You'll be able to spot potential lulls before they become noticeable to others, giving you the opportunity to gently guide the dialogue in a new direction, to add a touch of humor, or simply to allow for a moment of reflection. This proactive mindset transforms your entire approach to communication. Instead of reacting to silences with panic or discomfort, you'll learn to see them as opportunities to enhance the conversation, to deepen the connection, and to create a more engaging experience for everyone involved. The whispers of silence, nonverbal cues. Long before our words stumble or fade, our bodies often signal a shift in the conversational tide. A slight change in posture, a fleeting glance away, a subtle alteration in breathing. These are the whispers of silence, easily missed if we're not attuned to them. Think of a conversation partner who suddenly leans back in their chair, their eyes darting momentarily towards the window. Or perhaps their voice softens, the pace of their speech slows, as if they're carefully considering their next words. These subtle movements and vocal variations are like signposts along the conversational road, indicating that a pause is imminent. As you become more attuned to these nonverbal cues, you'll find yourself better prepared to navigate the natural ebbs and flows of dialogue. You'll develop a heightened sensitivity to the unspoken language of conversation, the subtle dance of body language and vocal intonation that adds depth and nuance to our interactions. Bridging the gaps, conversational lifelines. Recognizing a pause is just the first step. The real magic happens when you learn to use this awareness to keep the conversation flowing smoothly, bridging those moments of silence with grace and finesse. This is where bridging statements come into play. Think of bridging statements as conversational lifelines, short phrases or remarks that span the gap between topics or thoughts, maintaining the momentum and preventing the dialogue from falling into an abyss. They're not about filling silence for the sake of it, but rather about providing a gentle nudge, a subtle guide to keep the conversation moving forward. Some bridging statements are simple acknowledgments that keep the conversation open, signaling your engagement and encouraging further exploration. Phrases like "that's an interesting point," or "I see what you mean," can provide a moment of reflection while demonstrating your active participation. Other bridging statements might gently steer the conversation in a new direction. "That reminds me of," or "speaking of which," can seamlessly introduce a related topic, keeping the dialogue fresh and engaging. The key to using these bridging statements effectively is to keep them light and natural. They should feel like an organic part of the conversation, not forced interjections or desperate attempts to fill the void. With practice, you'll develop a repertoire of these phrases that feel authentic to your speaking style, allowing you to navigate pauses with ease and confidence. Adding a touch of lightness, the power of humor. Sometimes the best way to bridge a conversational gap is with a touch of humor. A well-placed joke, a witty observation, or a lighthearted anecdote can ease tension, create a more relaxed atmosphere, and inject new energy into the dialogue. Imagine a conversation that's starting to feel a bit strained. A light remark about the overly strong coffee, a funny observation about the quirky decor, or a self-deprecating comment about your own clumsiness can break the tension and create a shared moment of laughter. However, it's important to gauge the tone of the conversation and your relationship with the other person. What works in a casual setting with friends might not be appropriate in a more formal or professional context. The key is to use humor judiciously, ensuring it complements the conversation rather than derailing it. Resetting the momentum, micro-reflections and gentle probes. As you become more adept at recognizing and bridging pauses, you'll also develop the ability to reset the momentum of a conversation when needed. This is where micro-reflections and gentle probes come into play. Micro-reflections are brief moments where you summarize or reflect on what's been said, providing a natural pause that can then springboard into a new direction. For example, you might say, "It sounds like this project has been quite challenging for you." This not only shows that you've been listening attentively, but also opens the door for the other person to elaborate or for you to ask a follow-up question. Gentle probes involve asking open-ended questions that encourage the other person to expand on their thoughts. Questions like, "What do you think led to that?" or "How did you feel about that?" can reignite a flagging conversation and lead it in new and interesting directions. By mastering these techniques, you'll become a conversational conductor, guiding the flow of dialogue, creating space for reflection, and encouraging deeper exploration of ideas. You'll transform those potentially awkward silences into opportunities for connection, understanding, and shared discovery. Chapter 4. The Power of Presence. Unlocking the Secret of Engaged Communication. The cafe hummed with the low murmur of conversations, the clinking of cups, and the hiss of the espresso machine. Across the small table, Sarah recounted her recent trip to Italy, her words painting vivid pictures of sun-drenched vineyards and ancient ruins. But as she spoke, a strange disconnect settled over Alina. Her eyes drifted towards the window, her mind wandered to the looming deadline at work, and her responses became perfunctory nods and the occasional, ha. Sarah, sensing the waning engagement, faltered, her vibrant stories fading into an awkward silence. We've all been on both sides of this scenario, haven't we? Sometimes we're the distracted listener, our attention pulled away by 1,000 different thoughts. Other times we're the speaker, our enthusiasm dampened by the lack of genuine connection. These moments where presence fades and minds wander are the silent killers of conversation, eroding connection and leaving us feeling isolated, even in the midst of company. In this chapter, we'll explore the power of presence, that elusive quality that transforms ordinary conversations into truly engaging experiences. It's not about feigning interest or forcing attention. It's about cultivating a mindset that allows us to be fully present, truly connected, and genuinely invested in the interaction. Presence, the heart of connection. Imagine two people gazing at a breathtaking sunset. One is fully immersed in the experience, their senses alive to the vibrant colors, the gentle breeze, and the sense of awe that washes over them. The other, while physically present, is mentally preoccupied, their mind consumed by worries and to-do lists, missing the beauty unfolding before their eyes. Presence is the difference between simply observing and truly experiencing. In conversation, it's the difference between hearing words and truly listening, between exchanging pleasantries and forging genuine connections. When we're present, we open ourselves to a deeper level of communication, one that transcends the surface level of words and delves into the realm of shared understanding and empathy. This presence, this deep engagement, is not just a matter of good manners. It's a fundamental human need. We all crave to be seen, heard, and understood. When we offer our presence to others, we validate their existence, we acknowledge their worth, and we create a space for authentic connection to blossom. The benefits of presence. Cultivating presence in your conversations is like turning up the volume on your communication skills. It amplifies your ability to connect, to understand, and to leave a lasting impact. Here are just a few of the benefits you can expect. Enhanced listening. When you're truly present, you listen not just with your ears, but with your whole being. You pick up on subtle nuances in tone and body language, you tune into the emotions behind the words, and you grasp the unspoken messages that often carry more weight than the words themselves. This deep listening fosters understanding, builds trust, and creates a space for genuine dialogue. Thoughtful responses. Presence allows you to respond with greater intention and clarity. Instead of reacting impulsively or blurting out the first thing that comes to mind, you take a moment to consider your words, ensuring they align with your thoughts and feelings. This creates a sense of authenticity and respect, fostering deeper connection and understanding. Navigating the conversational flow. When you're present, you become more attuned to the natural rhythm of the conversation. You sense the ebbs and flows, the subtle shifts in energy and momentum. This allows you to navigate the conversation with greater ease, anticipating pauses, recognizing cues, and responding in a way that keeps the dialogue flowing smoothly. Cultivating presence, a journey inward. Developing presence is not about suppressing distractions or forcing focus. It's about cultivating a mindset that allows you to be fully engaged in the moment. It's a journey inward, a practice of mindfulness and self-awareness that can transform not only your conversations but your entire life. Here are some key steps to help you cultivate presence. Become an observer of your thoughts. Our minds are constantly buzzing with thoughts, worries, and to-do lists. This mental chatter can easily pull us away from the present moment, preventing us from fully engaging in conversations. Start by simply noticing your thoughts without judgment. Are you dwelling on the past? Are you worrying about the future? Are you distracted by external stimuli? By becoming aware of your mental patterns, you can start to gently redirect your focus back to the present. Practice active listening. Active listening is more than just hearing words. It's about fully engaging with the speaker, both verbally and non-verbally. Make eye contact, nod to show understanding, and use verbal cues like "I see" or "tell me more" to demonstrate your interest. Paraphrase what you've heard to ensure you understand correctly, and ask clarifying questions to delve deeper. Engage your senses. One of the most powerful ways to bring yourself back to the present moment is to engage your senses. Notice the sights, sounds, smells, and textures around you. Feel the weight of your body in the chair, the temperature of the air on your skin, the taste of the coffee on your tongue. By anchoring yourself in the present through your senses, you can prevent your mind from wandering and create a more grounded and focused experience. Embrace silence. Silence is not the enemy of conversation. It's a vital component of it. Don't be afraid to allow for pauses and moments of quiet reflection. These spaces can create a sense of intimacy, allowing for deeper thoughts and feelings to emerge. Presence in action. Action. The power of presence extends far beyond casual conversations. It can transform your interactions in every aspect of your life. Imagine a business meeting where everyone is fully present, actively listening and responding thoughtfully. Or a family dinner where genuine connection replaces distracted glances at phones. Or a romantic evening where deep listening and undivided attention create a space for intimacy and vulnerability. As you cultivate presence in your daily interactions, you'll notice a ripple effect. People will feel more seen, heard, and valued in your presence. Conversations will become more meaningful, relationships will deepen, and you'll experience a greater sense of connection to the world around you. Remember, presence is not a destination, it's a practice. It's a continuous journey of self-awareness and mindful engagement that can transform your conversations and enrich your life in countless ways. Chapter 5. Decoding the Dance of Dialogue, Mastering the Rhythms of Engaging Conversation. Imagine a bustling ballroom, couples swirling across the polished floor. Some glide with effortless grace, their movements synchronized, their steps perfectly in sync with the music. Others stumble, hesitate, their rhythm faltering, their connection momentarily lost in the crowd. Conversations, like dances, have their own intricate choreography. There's a flow, a give and take, a delicate balance between leading and following. This dance of dialogue is what separates a captivating conversation from a stilted exchange, a genuine connection from a fleeting encounter. In this chapter, we'll delve into the dynamics of conversational flow, exploring the subtle cues, the unspoken rhythms, and the intricate patterns that shape our interactions. Think of it as developing your conversational intelligence, an ability to read the room, anticipate the next move, and guide the dance with grace and confidence. The flow state, where conversation takes flight. Have you ever been so engrossed in a conversation that time seemed to melt away? The words flowed effortlessly, ideas bounced back and forth, and a sense of shared understanding created an almost magical connection. This is the flow state, where conversation transcends mere information exchange and becomes a creative act, a shared journey of discovery. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, a renowned psychologist, describes flow as a state of complete absorption in an activity, characterized by intense focus, energized focus, and a sense of effortless control. In conversations, flow emerges when both parties are fully present, actively engaged, and contributing to the dance of dialogue. But flow is not just a matter of chance, it's a skill that can be cultivated. By understanding the underlying principles of conversational dynamics, we can learn to create the conditions that allow flow to flourish. The art of turn-taking, a conversational ballet. Imagine a tennis match, the players volleying the ball back and forth, each shot building upon the previous one, creating a dynamic and engaging exchange. Conversations, too, rely on this delicate balance of turn-taking, a conversational ballet where each participant contributes in turn, building upon what's been said and propelling the dialogue forward. But unlike a tennis match, where the rules are clearly defined, conversations rely on a more nuanced set of cues. We signal our readiness to speak or listen through subtle shifts in body language, vocal intonation, and even the timing of our pauses. A slight lean forward, a raised eyebrow, a change in vocal pitch. These are the subtle signals that indicate our desire to contribute or to yield the floor. Learning to recognize and respond to these cues is essential for maintaining a smooth and engaging conversational flow. Reading the room, conversational intelligence in action. Just as a skilled dancer can sense the rhythm of the music and the movements of their partner, a conversationally intelligent individual can read the subtle cues in a social situation. They can gauge the energy level, the emotional tone, and the unspoken dynamics that shape the interaction. This conversational intelligence allows you to adapt your communication style to fit the context. Are you in a lively group discussion where quick wit and playful banter are welcomed? Or are you in a more intimate setting where thoughtful reflection and deep listening are required? By attuning yourself to the nuances of the situation, you can navigate the conversational landscape with grace and ease. The power of nonverbal cues, the unspoken language. While words are the building blocks of conversation, nonverbal cues are the mortar that holds them together. Our facial expressions, body language, and vocal intonation convey a wealth of information, adding depth and nuance to our spoken words. A genuine smile, a warm gaze, an open posture, these nonverbal signals communicate openness, trust, and engagement. Conversely, crossed arms, averted eyes, and a tense jaw can signal discomfort, disinterest, or even hostility. By becoming more attuned to these nonverbal cues, both in yourself and others, you can gain a deeper understanding of the unspoken dynamics at play. You'll learn to recognize when someone is truly engaged, when they're feeling uncomfortable, or when they're ready to contribute to the conversation. Mastering the rhythm, creating conversational harmony. Mastering the dance of dialogue is about finding the right rhythm, the balance between speaking and listening, leading and following. It's about recognizing the subtle cues, anticipating the next move, and responding in a way that keeps the conversation flowing smoothly. Here are some key principles to keep in mind. Be present. Just as a dancer can't perform their best if they're distracted or preoccupied, you can't engage fully in a conversation if your mind is elsewhere. Cultivate presence by focusing your attention on the speaker, actively listening, and responding thoughtfully. Respect the rhythm. Conversations have their own natural rhythm, with pauses, shifts in momentum, and moments of silence. Don't try to force the flow or dominate the conversation. Instead, listen attentively, contribute when appropriate, and allow for natural pauses and transitions. Read the nonverbal cues. Pay attention to body language, facial expressions, and vocal intonation. These cues can provide valuable insights into the other person's thoughts and feelings, helping you to navigate the conversation with greater sensitivity and understanding. Be adaptable. Just as a dancer adjusts their steps to match their partners, be willing to adapt your communication style to fit the context and the people you're interacting with. What works in one situation may not work in another. By mastering these principles, you'll transform your conversations from stilted exchanges into engaging dances, creating connections, fostering understanding, and leaving a lasting impression on everyone you meet. Chapter 6. The Artful Pause, Mastering the Power of Silence in Conversation. Imagine a skilled potter shaping clay on a spinning wheel. With gentle hands and deliberate movements, they mold the formless mass, creating curves and contours, adding intricate details. But just as important as the potter's touch are the moments when they pause, stepping back to assess their creation, allowing the clay to settle, and envisioning the next stage of transformation. Conversations, too, are acts of creation. We shape ideas, mold opinions, and craft connections through the interplay of words and silences. And just as the potter's pauses are essential to their craft, so too are the pauses in our conversations vital to the art of communication. In this chapter, we'll explore the artful pause, that often overlooked element that can elevate our conversations from mundane exchanges to captivating encounters. We'll discover how to wield silence as a tool, not a hindrance, transforming those moments of quietude into opportunities for reflection, connection, and deeper understanding. The symphony of silence, more than just an absence of sound. We often think of silence as an empty space, a void to be filled with words. But in the realm of conversation, silence is far from empty. It's a fertile ground where thoughts germinate, emotions simmer, and connections deepen. Think of a musical composition. The notes, the melodies, are what capture our attention, but it's the rests, the pauses between the notes, that give the music its shape and texture. A well-placed rest can create anticipation, emphasize a phrase, or provide a moment of reflection. Similarly, in conversation, pauses serve a multitude of purposes. They can signal a transition between topics, allow for a moment of contemplation, or create a sense of intimacy and shared understanding. They are the punctuation marks of our dialogues, adding nuance, emphasis, and emotional depth to our words. Types of pauses. A spectrum of silence. Just as there are different types of musical rests, there are different types of pauses in conversation, each with its own unique function and effect. The reflective pause. This is the pause that follows a profound statement, a thought-provoking question, or a shared moment of vulnerability. It's a space for contemplation, allowing both speaker and listener to absorb the weight of what's been said and to process their own thoughts and feelings. The empathetic pause. This pause conveys understanding and compassion. It's the silence that follows a friend's confession of hardship, a colleague's expression of frustration, or a loved one's sharing of grief. It's a moment of shared silence that speaks volumes, communicating support and empathy without the need for words. The transition pause. This pause signals a shift in the conversation, a change of topic or direction. It's the brief silence that allows both parties to mentally prepare for the next stage of the dialogue, preventing abrupt jumps and maintaining a smooth flow. The power pause. This pause is used strategically for emphasis or effect. It's the silence that follows a powerful statement, allowing the words to resonate and sink in. It can also be used to create anticipation or build suspense, drawing the listener in and heightening their engagement. The art of the pause, wielding silence with intention. Mastering the artful pause is about recognizing the different types of silences and using them intentionally to enhance your conversations. It's about understanding when to step back, when to allow for reflection, and when to use silence to create a powerful impact. Here are some key strategies to help you wield the power of the pause. Become aware of your own pauses. Pay attention to how you use silence in your conversations. Do you tend to rush through your sentences, afraid of any gaps in the dialogue? Or do you allow for natural pauses, giving yourself and others time to process information and formulate responses? By becoming more aware of your own patterns, you can start to use pauses more intentionally. Listen to the rhythm of the conversation. Just as a musician listens to the rhythm of the music, pay attention to the natural ebb and flow of the conversation. Are there moments where a pause would create emphasis or allow for deeper reflection? Are there times when a pause might signal a transition or a change of direction? Use pauses to create impact. Don't be afraid to use silence strategically. A well-placed pause can add weight to your words, create anticipation, or allow a powerful statement to resonate. It can also be used to signal a shift in the conversation, or to give the other person time to process what you've said. Embrace the power of nonverbal communication. During pauses, pay attention to nonverbal cues. Are you maintaining eye contact? Is your body language open and receptive? These subtle signals can communicate volumes, conveying engagement, empathy, and understanding even in the absence of words. The benefits of the artful pause. Mastering the artful pause can transform your conversations in profound ways. It can Deepen connection. Pauses create space for intimacy and vulnerability, allowing for deeper thoughts and feelings to emerge. Enhance understanding. Pauses give both speaker and listener time to process information, leading to greater clarity and comprehension. Increase engagement. Strategic pauses can create anticipation, emphasize key points, and draw the listener in, making the conversation more captivating. Boost confidence. By embracing silence, you demonstrate a sense of composure and control, projecting confidence and authority. Embracing the silence. In a world that often values constant chatter and rapid-fire exchanges, the artful pause is a powerful antidote. It's a reminder that silence is not an empty space, but a fertile ground for reflection, connection, and deeper understanding. By mastering the art of the pause, you'll not only enhance your conversations but also cultivate a deeper sense of presence and mindfulness in your interactions. You'll discover that silence is not something to be feared, but a powerful tool to be embraced, a key to unlocking the true potential of human communication. Chapter 7. Bridging the gaps, the art of seamless transitions in conversation. Imagine a mountain range, its peaks and valleys stretching across the horizon. Each peak represents a different topic, a unique vista in the landscape of conversation. Now, imagine trying to traverse this terrain without paths or bridges, forced to leap precariously from one summit to the next. The journey would be jarring, disjointed, and likely to end in a fall. Conversations, too, can feel like treacherous climbs if we lack the skills to navigate the transitions between topics. Abrupt shifts, awkward silences, and forced segues can leave both parties feeling disoriented and disconnected. But just as bridges connect the peaks in a mountain range, creating a smooth and continuous path, so too can skillful transitions bridge the gaps in our conversations, ensuring a seamless and engaging flow. In this chapter, we'll explore the art of bridging, those subtle yet powerful techniques that allow us to glide effortlessly from one topic to the next, keeping the conversation alive, dynamic, and mutually engaging. The graceful pivot, mastering the art of transition. Think of a figure skater executing a spin on the ice. With effortless grace, they transition from one position to another, their movements fluid and seamless, their momentum maintained throughout the sequence. Similarly, in conversation, we must learn to pivot gracefully between topics, maintaining the flow and energy of the dialogue while avoiding jarring interruptions. This ability to transition smoothly is essential for creating a sense of coherence and continuity in our conversations. It allows us to explore a variety of ideas without losing the thread of the conversation, ensuring that both parties remain engaged and connected. But mastering the graceful pivot is not just about avoiding awkward silences. It's about creating a sense of shared exploration. It's about guiding the conversation in a way that feels natural and organic, as if each new topic is a logical extension of what came before. Building bridges, verbal stepping stones. Just as a bridge provides a safe passage across a chasm, verbal bridges connect different topics in a conversation, creating a smooth and seamless transition. These bridges can take many forms, from simple phrases to carefully crafted questions, but their purpose is always the same: to guide the conversation in a new direction while maintaining the flow and engagement. Here are some examples of verbal bridges that you can use to navigate conversational transitions. Acknowledging and linking. That's an interesting point about previous topic. It reminds me of something I read recently about new topic. Building on a shared experience. Speaking of previous topic, have you ever noticed how new topic? Connecting through a common interest. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on new topic, especially since you're so passionate about previous topic. Transitioning with a question. On a slightly different note, I've been wondering about new topic. What are your thoughts on that? The key to using these verbal bridges effectively is to make them feel natural and organic. They should flow seamlessly from the previous topic, creating a sense of continuity and coherence in the conversation. Recognizing the crossroads when to shift gears. Just as a driver needs to recognize when to change lanes or take an exit, a skilled conversationalist needs to know when to shift gears and transition to a new topic. This involves paying attention to both verbal and nonverbal cues, sensing the ebb and flow of the conversation, and recognizing when a particular topic has run its course. Here are some signs that it might be time to transition to a new topic. Waning enthusiasm. Is the other person's energy level dropping? Are their responses becoming shorter or less engaged? Physical cues. Are they fidgeting, looking away, or displaying other signs of disinterest or discomfort? Repetitive patterns. Is the conversation starting to feel repetitive or circular? Are you rehashing the same points without making any progress? Sensitive territory. Has the conversation veered into an area that feels too personal, controversial, or uncomfortable for either party? By recognizing these cues, you can gracefully steer the conversation in a new direction, preventing awkward silences and maintaining a positive and engaging dynamic. Crafting engaging pivots, sparking curiosity and connection. Once you've recognized the need for a transition, the next step is to craft an engaging pivot that seamlessly guides the conversation towards a new topic. This involves finding a connection, however subtle, between the current subject and the new direction you want to explore. Here are some strategies for crafting engaging pivots. Harness the power of curiosity. Human beings are naturally curious creatures. By tapping into this innate desire to learn and explore, you can create seamless transitions that spark interest and engagement. Ask a thought-provoking question, share an intriguing fact, or introduce a new perspective that invites further exploration. Reconnect to the original intent. If the conversation is strayed from its original purpose, gently guide it back to the main theme. This can create a natural bridge to new and relevant topics, ensuring that the conversation remains focused and productive. Build on shared experiences. Draw connections between the current topic and shared experiences, common interests, or mutual acquaintances. This creates a sense of familiarity and camaraderie, making the transition feel more natural and engaging. The benefits of seamless transitions. Mastering the art of bridging the gaps in conversation can have a profound impact on your interactions. Enhance conversational flow. Smooth transitions create a sense of continuity and coherence, preventing awkward silences and maintaining the momentum of the dialogue. Deepen connection. By seamlessly navigating between topics, you create a sense of shared exploration and mutual engagement, fostering deeper connection and understanding. Boost confidence. The ability to transition smoothly between topics projects confidence and competence, making you a more engaging and effective communicator. Expand your horizons. By exploring a variety of topics, you broaden your perspectives, gain new insights, and deepen your understanding of the world around you. The journey of connection. Mastering the art of bridging the gaps is an ongoing journey, a continuous process of refinement and self-discovery. As you become more attuned to the nuances of conversation, you'll develop an intuitive sense of when and how to transition between topics, creating a seamless and engaging flow that fosters connection, understanding, and shared exploration. Chapter 8. Reviving the Spark, Rescuing Conversations from the Brink of Boredom. The restaurant buzzed with the lively chatter of Friday night diners, but at their corner table, the conversation had fallen strangely flat. The initial excitement of catching up had waned, the anecdotes had been exhausted, and now an uncomfortable silence stretched between them like a chasm. Liam fidgeted with his napkin, desperately racking his brain for a new topic, while across the table Maya's gaze drifted towards the enticing dessert menu. The spark, once so bright, seemed to be fading into the embers of a dying fire. We've all been there, haven't we? That sinking feeling when a conversation loses its momentum, the initial enthusiasm fizzling out like a deflated balloon. These moments, where the conversational engine sputters and stalls, can be awkward, even painful, leaving us feeling disconnected and unsure how to proceed. But fear not, for this chapter is your rescue mission, your toolkit for reviving those flagging conversations and reigniting the spark of connection. We'll explore a range of re-engagement tactics, those subtle yet powerful strategies that can breathe new life into a dying dialogue and transform an awkward silence into an opportunity for deeper engagement. Beyond awkwardness, why re-engagement matters. Re-engagement is more than just a social band-aid, a quick fix for uncomfortable silences. It's about maintaining the flow of human connection, keeping the channels of communication open and vibrant. When you can skillfully navigate the ebbs and flows of conversation, you're not just talking, you're building relationships, fostering understanding, and creating memorable interactions. Think of a seasoned musician improvising a solo. They listen to the rhythm section, respond to the other musicians, and build upon the existing melody, creating a dynamic and engaging performance. Similarly, in conversation, we must learn to improvise, to respond to our conversational partners, and to build upon the existing dialogue, creating a harmonious and engaging exchange. Mastering these re-engagement tactics builds a kind of conversational confidence that can transform your social and professional life. Imagine walking into any situation, whether it's a networking event, a first date, or a family gathering, knowing that you have the tools to keep a conversation flowing smoothly, no matter what challenges arise. This confidence not only makes you a better communicator, but a more engaging and memorable presence in any interaction. Topic: redirection, the art of the conversational DJ. Just as a skilled DJ seamlessly blends one song into another, keeping the energy of the dance floor alive, so too can a skilled conversationalist blend topics, creating a smooth and engaging flow. This isn't about abruptly changing the subject when things get quiet. It's about finding subtle connections that allow you to shift the conversation in a new, more engaging direction. The key to mastering this skill lies in active listening. Pay attention to the details, the nuances, the subtle cues that your conversational partner is offering. Often the seeds of the next engaging topic are already present in the conversation. They just need someone to notice and nurture them. For example, if your conversation partner mentions a recent trip to the beach, you might ask about their favorite seaside memories, their experiences with water sports, or their thoughts on ocean conservation. By picking up on these threads and weaving them into new topics, you can guide the conversation in fresh and exciting directions. Skillful pivoting, bridging the conversational gaps. Sometimes a conversation needs more than just a gentle nudge. It requires a deliberate shift in direction. This is where the art of skillful pivoting comes into play. A pivot is a more intentional change of topic, but when done well, it can feel just as natural and organic as any other transition. The secret to a good pivot is finding a connection, however tenuous, between the current topic and the new direction you want to take it. Phrases like "that reminds me of," or "speaking of which," can be your best friends here, creating a verbal bridge that allows you to introduce a new topic while acknowledging what came before. For example, if the conversation is stalled on the topic of work, you might say, "Speaking of work, it reminds me of a fascinating documentary I saw recently about the future of artificial intelligence. Have you heard about it?" This pivot not only introduces a new and potentially engaging topic, but also creates a sense of continuity, linking the old and the new in a seamless way. Encouraging participation. The power of questions. One of the most effective ways to revive a flagging conversation is to encourage deeper participation from your conversational partner. And the key to unlocking this treasure trove of engagement lies in the art of asking questions. But not just any questions will do. Open-ended questions, those that can't be answered with a simple yes or no, are your secret weapon here. They invite elaboration, encourage the other person to share their thoughts, feelings, and experiences, and create opportunities for deeper connection. For example, instead of asking, "Did you enjoy your vacation?" you might ask, "What was the most memorable experience you had on your vacation?" This not only invites a more detailed response, but also allows the conversation to branch off in unexpected and interesting directions. Collaborative refocus, a shared journey of discovery. Sometimes a conversation needs more than just a gentle nudge or a skillful pivot. It requires a collaborative effort to re-energize the dialogue. This is where the concept of collaborative refocus comes into play. Collaborative refocus involves explicitly acknowledging the current state of the conversation and inviting your conversational partner to join you in exploring new territory. You might say something like, "We've covered a lot of ground on this topic. I'm wondering if there's another aspect we haven't touched on that you find particularly interesting." This approach does two things. It acknowledges the current lull in the conversation, potentially diffusing any awkwardness, and it empowers your conversational partner to take an active role in shaping the direction of the dialogue. Another tactic for collaborative refocus is to spark intrigue. Share a surprising fact, pose a thought-provoking question, or introduce an element of mystery that piques curiosity and invites further exploration. This can re-energize the conversation and create a sense of shared discovery. From rescue mission to engaging exchange. Mastering these re-engagement tactics is like having a conversational first aid kit at your disposal. You'll be able to diagnose those moments when a conversation starts to falter and apply the appropriate remedy, whether it's a subtle topic redirection, a skillful pivot, or a collaborative refocus. But remember, the goal is not just to rescue conversations from the brink of boredom. It's to transform them into truly engaging and meaningful exchanges. By actively listening, asking thoughtful questions, and collaborating with your conversational partner, you can create dialogues that spark curiosity, deepen connections, and leave a lasting impression. Chapter 9: The Power of Questions: Unlocking Deeper Conversations and Meaningful Connections. Imagine a detective entering a dimly lit crime scene. Every detail, every clue holds the potential to unravel the mystery. But it's not just the evidence itself that matters. It's the detective's ability to ask the right questions. Who was the last person to see the victim? What was the motive? Where were the suspects at the time of the crime? These questions, carefully crafted and strategically posed, are the keys to unlocking the truth. Conversations, too, are investigations of a sort. We're exploring ideas, uncovering perspectives, and seeking to understand the world around us and the people within it. And just as the detective relies on insightful questions to solve a case, so too do we rely on the power of questions to unlock deeper conversations and forge meaningful connections. In this chapter, we'll delve into the art of asking questions, exploring how the right questions can transform mundane exchanges into captivating dialogues, spark curiosity, and foster genuine understanding. Beyond the surface, why questions matter. Questions are more than just tools for gathering information. They're the catalysts that ignite engaging conversations. They're the keys that unlock hidden doors, the bridges that connect disparate ideas, and the sparks that ignite intellectual curiosity. Think of a child gazing up at the night sky, their eyes filled with wonder. "Why are the stars twinkling?" they ask. "How far away is the moon?" These questions, driven by an innate curiosity, are the seeds of knowledge, the foundation of lifelong learning. In our adult conversations, questions serve a similar purpose. They invite exploration, encourage deeper thinking, and challenge us to consider new perspectives. They can transform a superficial exchange into a meaningful dialogue, a casual encounter into a lasting connection. The art of the open-ended question, inviting exploration. Imagine a garden path that leads to a single destination. It's predictable, straightforward, and leaves little room for exploration. Now imagine a sprawling meadow, filled with winding trails, hidden corners, and unexpected discoveries. This is the difference between closed-ended and open-ended questions. Closed-ended questions, those that can be answered with a simple yes or no, are like that garden path. They limit the conversation, restrict the flow of information, and often lead to dead ends. Open-ended questions, on the other hand, are like the sprawling meadow. They invite exploration, encourage elaboration, and open up a world of possibilities. Consider the difference between asking, "Did you have a good day?" And what was the highlight of your DA? The first question invites a simple affirmation or negation, while the second encourages a more detailed and personal response, opening the door for further exploration and connection. The follow-up question, delving deeper. Asking a question is just the first step. To truly unlock the power of inquiry, we must learn to follow up, to delve deeper, and to explore the nuances of the other person's response. Think of an archaeologist carefully excavating an ancient site. They don't just unearth a single artifact and move on. They meticulously brush away the dirt, examine each layer, and piece together the fragments to create a complete picture of the past. Similarly, in conversation, follow-up questions allow us to dig deeper, to uncover hidden layers of meaning, and to gain a more complete understanding of the other person's perspective. For example, if someone mentions that they're feeling stressed, you might follow up with, "What's causing you stress?" Or "How are you coping with it?" These follow-up questions demonstrate genuine interest, encourage further elaboration, and deepen the connection. Creating a culture of curiosity, the power of inquiry. Cultivating a culture of curiosity in your conversations is like turning on a light in a dark room. It illuminates hidden corners, reveals new perspectives, and sparks a sense of wonder and discovery. Here are some key strategies to help you create a culture of curiosity. Embrace the unknown. Don't be afraid to admit when you don't know something. Instead of pretending to have all the answers, ask questions, seek clarification, and demonstrate a genuine desire to learn. Challenge assumptions. Question your own assumptions and encourage others to do the same. Ask why and how questions to explore the underlying reasons and motivations behind beliefs and behaviors. Listen actively. Pay attention not just to the words being spoken, but also to the tone, body language, and emotions behind them. This will help you formulate follow-up questions that are relevant, insightful, and respectful. Create a safe space. Foster an environment where people feel comfortable asking questions and expressing their curiosity without fear of judgment or ridicule. The transformative power of questions. Mastering the art of asking questions can transform your conversations in profound ways. It can spark curiosity. Questions ignite a thirst for knowledge, encourage exploration, and lead to new discoveries. Deepen connection. Thoughtful questions demonstrate genuine interest, fostering empathy and creating a sense of shared understanding. Enhance creativity. Questions challenge assumptions, spark new ideas, and encourage innovative thinking. Build relationships. By asking questions, you show that you value the other person's perspective, fostering trust and strengthening relationships. Questions. The keys to unlocking potential. Questions are not just tools for gathering information. They're the keys to unlocking deeper conversations, forging meaningful connections, and expanding our understanding of the world around us. By embracing the power of inquiry, we can transform our interactions from mundane exchanges into captivating dialogues filled with curiosity, discovery, and genuine human connection. Chapter 10. Emotional Agility. Navigating the tides of feelings in conversation. Imagine a sailboat navigating a choppy sea. The wind gusts, the waves crash against the hull, and the boat rocks precariously. But a skilled sailor doesn't panic. They adjust the sails, steer into the waves, and maintain a steady course, even in the face of turbulent conditions. Conversations, too, can be unpredictable voyages. Emotions run high, opinions clash, and unexpected storms can erupt, threatening to capsize the dialogue. But just as the sailor relies on their skills and experience to navigate the choppy waters, so too can we rely on emotional agility to navigate the tides of feelings in our conversations. In this chapter, we'll explore the concept of emotional agility, that remarkable ability to navigate the emotional currents of our interactions with grace and resilience. We'll learn to recognize and manage our own emotions, respond effectively to the emotions of others, and steer our conversations towards calmer waters, even in the midst of a storm. Emotional intelligence, the compass of connection. Understanding and controlling your own emotions, as well as identifying and reacting to those of others, are hallmarks of emotional intelligence, or EQ. This compass helps us navigate social circumstances with empathy, sensitivity, and self-awareness by guiding us across the complicated terrain of human interaction. Just as a traditional compass helps us orient ourselves in physical space, emotional intelligence helps us navigate the emotional landscape of our relationships. It allows us to recognize and understand our own emotions. What triggers our anger, joy, sadness, or fear? How do these emotions manifest in our bodies and behaviors? Manage our emotional responses. How can we regulate our emotions, express them constructively, and avoid impulsive reactions? Recognize and empathize with the emotions of others. What cues can we pick up on to understand how others are feeling? How can we respond in a way that demonstrates empathy and support? Build strong and healthy relationships. How can we use emotional intelligence to foster trust, communicate effectively, and resolve conflicts constructively? Self-regulation, steering into the emotional waves. Imagine a surfer riding a powerful wave. They don't fight against the force of the water, they lean into it, adjust their balance, and use the energy of the wave to propel them forward. Similarly, in conversation, we can learn to surf our emotions, acknowledging their power without allowing them to capsize us. Self-regulation is the ability to manage our emotional responses, particularly in challenging situations. It's about recognizing when our emotions are escalating, taking a step back to calm ourselves, and choosing how to respond in a way that aligns with our values and goals. Here are some techniques to help you regulate your emotions in conversation. Mindful breathing. When you feel your emotions rising, take a few deep breaths, focusing on the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. This simple act can help calm your nervous system and create a sense of grounding. Cognitive reframing. Challenge your negative thoughts and replace them with more positive and realistic ones. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm going to make a fool of myself," try thinking, "I'm going to do my best to contribute to this conversation." Take a break if you feel overwhelmed by your emotions. Excuse yourself from the conversation for a few minutes. Take a walk, get some fresh air, or practice a relaxation technique to calm yourself down. Responding to others' emotions. Navigating with empathy. Emotional agility is not just about managing our own emotions. It's also about responding effectively to the emotions of others. This requires empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. When someone expresses strong emotions, it's important to acknowledge their feelings without judgment. Avoid dismissing their emotions or offering unsolicited advice. Instead, listen actively, reflect back what you've heard, and offer support and validation. For example, if a friend is expressing sadness, you might say, "I'm so sorry to hear that you're going through this. It sounds like you're feeling really hurt." This simple acknowledgement can go a long way in making the other person feel heard and understood. Steering towards calm waters. Conflict resolution. Even the most emotionally intelligent individuals will encounter conflicts in their conversations, but emotional agility allows us to navigate these challenges with grace and resilience, steering the conversation towards calmer waters. Here are some strategies for resolving conflicts constructively. Focus on understanding. Seek to understand the other person's perspective, even if you disagree with it. Ask clarifying questions, paraphrase their points, and acknowledge their feelings. Express yourself clearly and respectfully. Use I statements to express your own thoughts and feelings without blaming or accusing the other person. Find common ground. Look for areas of agreement or shared values. This can help create a sense of collaboration and make it easier to find a mutually acceptable solution. Take breaks when needed. If the conversation becomes too heated, take a break to cool down and regroup. This can prevent the conflict from escalating and allow for more productive dialogue when you resume the conversation. The benefits of emotional agility. Developing emotional agility can transform your conversations and your relationships in profound ways. It can reduce conflict by managing your own emotions and responding effectively to the emotions of others. You can prevent conflicts from escalating and resolve disagreements constructively. Strengthen relationships. Emotional agility fosters empathy, understanding, and trust, creating a foundation for strong and healthy relationships. Enhance communication. By navigating the emotional currents of conversation, you can communicate more effectively, express yourself authentically, and connect with others on a deeper level. Increase resilience. Emotional agility allows you to bounce back from setbacks, navigate challenging situations, and maintain a positive outlook. Emotional agility, a lifelong journey. Developing emotional agility is a lifelong journey, a continuous process of self-discovery and growth. It requires practice, patience, and a willingness to embrace the full spectrum of human emotions. But the rewards are well worth the effort. By mastering the art of emotional agility, you'll not only enhance your conversations, but also cultivate a deeper sense of self-awareness, empathy, and resilience. You'll become a more effective communicator, a more compassionate friend, and a more confident navigator of the complex emotional landscape of human interaction. Chapter 11. The Misunderstanding Maze, Navigating the Twists and Turns of Miscommunication. Imagine a bustling city street, cars weaving through traffic, pedestrians navigating crosswalks, cyclists zipping along bike lanes. It's a complex dance of movement and coordination, where a single misjudgment, a missed signal, or a moment of inattention can lead to a collision. Conversations, too, are intricate navigations, where words are our vehicles, ideas are our destinations, and shared understanding is the smooth flow of traffic. But just as a city street can be fraught with potential hazards, so too can conversations be riddled with the risks of miscommunication. A misplaced word, a misinterpreted tone, or a misconstrued intention can lead to a conversational fender bender, disrupting the flow and leaving both parties feeling frustrated and disoriented. In this chapter, we'll venture into the misunderstanding maze, exploring the twists and turns of miscommunication, those unexpected detours that can derail even the most well-intentioned conversations. But more importantly, we'll equip ourselves with the tools and strategies to navigate these challenges, transforming potential collisions into opportunities for clarity, connection, and deeper understanding. The ripple effects of miscommunication, why clarity matters. Misunderstandings are more than just momentary glitches in communication. They can have far-reaching consequences, creating ripples that disrupt relationships, hinder progress, and even escalate into conflict. Think of a game of telephone, where a message is whispered from person to person, becoming increasingly distorted with each retelling. By the time it reaches the final recipient, the original message is often unrecognizable, leading to confusion, frustration, and even animosity. Similarly, in our daily interactions, miscommunications can create a cascade of negative consequences. A misinterpreted email can lead to a missed deadline, a misconstrued comment can damage a friendship, and a misjudged intention can escalate into a full-blown argument. But the impact of miscommunication goes beyond these immediate consequences. When misunderstandings are left unaddressed, they can erode trust, create resentment, and make future interactions more challenging. Like a crack in a windshield, a small miscommunication, if left unattended, can spread and eventually shatter the entire pane of connection. Spotting the warning signs, detecting the detours. Just as a seasoned driver learns to anticipate potential hazards on the road, a skilled communicator develops a keen awareness of the warning signs of miscommunication. These subtle cues, often overlooked or dismissed, can signal that a conversational detour is imminent. Here are some key indicators to watch for. Shifts in tone, a sudden edge in someone's voice, a hesitant pause before responding, or an unexpected change in volume can all signal that something is amiss. These subtle shifts in tone can be like warning lights on a car dashboard, indicating that something needs attention. Physical tension, crossed arms, a furrowed brow, or a tightened jaw can be telltale signs of discomfort or disagreement. These nonverbal cues often speak louder than words, revealing underlying tension or frustration. Rapid disengagement. If your conversation partner suddenly becomes less responsive, offering short, clipped answers, or seeming distracted, it could indicate that a misunderstanding has occurred. This disengagement is often a defensive mechanism, a way of withdrawing from a situation that feels uncomfortable or threatening. Repairing the route. Addressing misunderstandings with grace. Once you've detected a potential miscommunication, the next step is to address it promptly and effectively. This is where the art of the misunderstanding fix comes into play. Those skillful maneuvers that can steer the conversation back on track and prevent a minor mishap from turning into a major collision. The power of apology. A sincere apology can work wonders in diffusing tension and opening the door to resolution. Acknowledge your role in the misunderstanding, even if it was unintentional, and express your regret for any hurt or confusion caused. This demonstrates humility and a willingness to take responsibility, creating a foundation for rebuilding trust. Recommitting to understanding. An apology alone is often not enough. Equally important is the act of recommitment, reaffirming your desire to understand the other person's perspective and to ensure that your own message is clearly conveyed. This might involve paraphrasing what you've heard, asking clarifying questions, or simply stating your intention to listen more attentively. Maintaining mutual respect. Throughout the process of addressing a misunderstanding, it's crucial to maintain mutual respect. Avoid blaming, interrupting, or becoming defensive. Instead, focus on fostering constructive dialogue, expressing your own thoughts and feelings clearly and respectfully, while also actively listening to the other person's perspective. Navigating the nuances, strategies for clarity. Addressing misunderstandings requires more than just good intentions. It requires skillful execution. Here are some strategies to help you navigate the nuances of miscommunication. Use I statements. Express your own thoughts and feelings using I statements, such as "I'm feeling confused about," or "I'm concerned that." This avoids blaming or accusing the other person, creating a safer space for open and honest communication. Ask open-ended questions. Encourage the other person to share their perspective by asking open-ended questions, such as "Can you help me understand your point of view?" or "What led you to that conclusion?" This demonstrates a genuine desire to understand and fosters a collaborative approach to resolving the misunderstanding. Focus on shared goals. Remind yourself and the other person of your shared goals or common ground. This can help shift the focus away from the conflict and towards finding a mutually beneficial solution. Take breaks when needed. If the conversation becomes too heated or emotionally charged, don't hesitate to take a break. This can allow both parties to cool down, gather their thoughts, and approach the conversation with renewed clarity and composure. From mishap to milestone, turning challenges into opportunities. Misunderstandings, while often frustrating, can also be valuable opportunities for growth and deeper connection. By learning to navigate these challenges with grace and skill, we can transform potential conflicts into milestones in our relationships. When we successfully address a misunderstanding, we not only clarify the immediate issue, but also strengthen the foundation of trust and understanding upon which our relationships are built. We demonstrate our commitment to open communication, our willingness to take responsibility, and our ability to navigate challenging situations with empathy and respect. So the next time you find yourself in the misunderstanding maze, don't panic. Take a deep breath, remember the strategies we've discussed, and approach the situation with a spirit of curiosity and collaboration. You might be surprised to discover that those twists and turns can lead to unexpected insights, deeper connections, and a renewed appreciation for the power of clear and compassionate communication. Chapter 12. Difficult Conversations. Navigating the thorny terrain with grace and courage. Imagine a hiker navigating a treacherous mountain path. Jagged rocks jut out, steep cliffs loom ahead, and the wind howls with a ferocity that threatens to knock them off balance. But with each careful step, each calculated maneuver, the hiker progresses, their determination fueled by the promise of breathtaking views and the satisfaction of conquering the challenging terrain. Difficult conversations are much like those mountain treks. They can be fraught with emotional landmines, fraught with the potential for conflict, and shrouded in a fog of uncertainty. But with the right tools and strategies, we can navigate these treacherous terrains with grace and courage, emerging not only unscathed but stronger and more connected than before. In this chapter, we'll delve into the art of navigating difficult conversations, those challenging exchanges that often leave us feeling anxious, apprehensive, and unsure how to proceed. We'll explore the common pitfalls, the emotional triggers, and the communication breakdowns that can derail these interactions. But more importantly, we'll equip ourselves with the skills and strategies to approach these conversations with confidence, clarity, and compassion, transforming potential conflicts into opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. Why we avoid the thorny path, the fear of confrontation. Difficult conversations are often avoided like the plague. We tiptoe around sensitive topics, suppress our true feelings, and even sacrifice our own needs to avoid the discomfort of confrontation. But this avoidance comes at a cost. Unexpressed grievances fester, resentment builds, and relationships can slowly erode under the weight of unspoken words. The fear of confrontation is deeply rooted in our human psyche. We are social creatures wired for connection and belonging. The prospect of conflict, with its potential for rejection or disapproval, triggers our primal fear of isolation. But while confrontation can be uncomfortable, it's also an essential part of healthy communication. It allows us to address issues, express our needs, and resolve conflicts constructively. When approached with skill and compassion, difficult conversations can actually strengthen relationships, foster deeper understanding, and create opportunities for growth and transformation. Identifying the triggers, recognizing the emotional landscape. Before we can navigate difficult conversations effectively, we must first understand the emotional landscape. What are the specific triggers that set off our alarm bells and make us want to avoid these conversations altogether? Fear of hurt. We may fear that expressing our true feelings will hurt the other person or damage the relationship. This fear can lead us to suppress our emotions, avoid difficult topics, and ultimately create a disconnect in our communication. Fear of rejection. We may worry that expressing our needs or disagreeing with the other person will lead to rejection or disapproval. This fear can make us hesitant to assert ourselves, leading to resentment and frustration. Fear of failure. We may fear that we won't be able to handle the conversation effectively, that we'll say the wrong thing, or that the conflict will escalate out of control. This fear can paralyze us, preventing us from addressing important issues and resolving conflicts constructively. Clearing the path. Strategies for navigating difficult terrain. Navigating difficult conversations requires a combination of self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and skillful communication. Here are some key strategies to help you clear the path and approach these conversations with confidence. Prepare and plan. Take some time to reflect on your goals for the conversation, the key points you want to convey, and the potential challenges you might encounter. This preparation can help you stay focused and grounded, even if the conversation takes an unexpected turn. Choose the right time and place. Don't ambush someone with a difficult conversation. Choose a time and place where both parties can feel comfortable and safe to express themselves openly and honestly. Start with a positive intention. Frame the conversation in a positive light, emphasizing your desire to understand, resolve the issue, and strengthen the relationship. Use I statements. Express your own thoughts and feelings using I statements, such as "I'm feeling frustrated because," or "I'm concerned about." This avoids blaming or accusing the other person, creating a more collaborative and less defensive atmosphere. Listen actively. Pay attention not just to the words being spoken, but also to the tone, body language, and emotions behind them. Reflect back what you've heard to ensure understanding and demonstrate empathy. Validate the other person's perspective. Even if you disagree with their viewpoint, acknowledge their feelings and try to see the situation from their perspective. This can help build trust and create a more collaborative environment. Focus on solutions. Once you've both had a chance to express your perspectives, shift the focus towards finding solutions. Brainstorm together, explore different options, and be willing to compromise. Take breaks when needed. If the conversation becomes too heated or emotionally charged, don't hesitate to take a break. This can allow both parties to cool down, gather their thoughts, and approach the conversation with renewed clarity and composure. From thorns to triumph, reaping the rewards of difficult conversations. While navigating difficult conversations can be challenging, the rewards are often well worth the effort. By addressing issues directly, expressing our needs honestly, and resolving conflicts constructively, we can strengthen relationships. Difficult conversations can actually deepen our connections with others, fostering trust, vulnerability, and a sense of shared understanding. Improve communication. By practicing these skills, we become more effective communicators, able to express ourselves clearly and respectfully, even in challenging situations. Increase self-awareness. Difficult conversations can provide valuable insights into our own emotions, triggers, and communication patterns, leading to greater self-awareness and personal growth. Promote personal growth. By facing our fears and navigating challenging conversations, we build resilience, courage, and a greater sense of self-efficacy. Embracing the challenge, the path to courageous communication. Difficult conversations are an inevitable part of life, but they don't have to be dreaded or avoided. By embracing the challenge, equipping ourselves with the right tools, and approaching these conversations with courage and compassion, we can transform potential conflicts into opportunities for growth, connection, and deeper understanding. Remember, the goal is not to win an argument or prove a point. It's about fostering open and honest communication, resolving conflicts constructively, and strengthening our relationships with the people who matter most to us. So take a deep breath, gather your courage, and step onto the path of courageous communication. The view from the summit is well worth the climb. Chapter 13. The Trust Equation. Building bridges of connection through authentic communication. Imagine a tightrope walker suspended high above a bustling city square. The slender rope sways gently in the breeze, the crowd below a blur of faces, and the only thing separating the performer from a dizzying fall is the delicate balance of trust in their own skills, trust in the strength of the rope, and trust in the unseen forces that hold them aloft. Relationships, too, are delicate balancing acts built on a foundation of trust. This trust, this unspoken agreement to be vulnerable and open with one another, is the invisible thread that connects us, allowing us to share our thoughts, feelings, and experiences without fear of judgment or betrayal. In this chapter, we'll delve into the trust equation, exploring the vital role that trust plays in building strong, meaningful relationships through communication. We'll discover how to cultivate trust through our words and actions, how to demonstrate vulnerability and authenticity, and how to create a safe space for open and honest dialogue. The cornerstone of connection. Why trust matters. Trust is the cornerstone upon which all strong relationships are built. It's the glue that holds us together, the foundation that allows us to weather storms and navigate challenges together. Without trust, our connections are fragile, vulnerable to the slightest tremor of doubt or misunderstanding. Think of a team of mountain climbers scaling a treacherous peak. They rely on each other for support, for safety, for their very survival. Each climber must trust that their teammates will hold the rope securely, that they will offer assistance when needed, and that they will share the burden of the climb. Similarly, in our relationships, trust allows us to rely on one another, to share our vulnerabilities, and to navigate life's challenges together. When we trust someone, we feel safe to express our true selves, to share our hopes and fears, and to seek support without fear of judgment or betrayal. Trust in communication, a safe haven for open dialogue. In the realm of communication, trust manifests as a feeling of safety, a belief that we can express ourselves openly and honestly without fear of ridicule, criticism, or rejection. When trust is present in a dialogue, something magical happens. People become more willing to share their thoughts and feelings, even on topics that might normally make them feel vulnerable. Ideas flow more freely, creativity flourishes, and disagreements, when they occur, are more likely to be constructive rather than destructive. Trust creates a space where true connection can occur, where we can let down our guards, be our authentic selves, and engage in meaningful dialogue that deepens our understanding of ourselves and others. Building bridges of trust, actions speak louder than words. While words are important, trust is ultimately built through actions. It's about consistently demonstrating reliability, empathy, and respect in our interactions. Consistency. When we consistently show up for others, keep our promises, and follow through on our commitments, we build a reputation for reliability and trustworthiness. This consistency creates a sense of security, allowing others to feel confident in our presence and our intentions. Empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. When we demonstrate empathy in our communication, we show that we care about the other person's perspective, that we value their feelings, and that we're willing to see the world through their eyes. This creates a sense of shared understanding and fosters deeper connection. Respect. Respect is about treating others with dignity and consideration, valuing their opinions, and honoring their boundaries. When we communicate respectfully, we create a safe space for open and honest dialogue, where everyone feels heard and valued. Vulnerability. The courage to be seen. Vulnerability is often perceived as a weakness, but in the context of trust building, it's actually a strength. It's the courage to be seen, to let down our guards, and to share our authentic selves with others. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we invite others to do the same. We create a space for genuine connection, where imperfections are embraced and authenticity is celebrated. This vulnerability, this willingness to show our true selves, can be a powerful catalyst for building trust and deepening relationships. Continuous improvement, nurturing the seeds of trust. Building trust is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process that requires continuous effort and attention. Just as a gardener tends to their plants, nurturing their growth and protecting them from harm, so too must we nurture the seeds of trust in our relationships. This involves regular reflection on our communication patterns, identifying areas where we can improve, and setting personal goals for growth. After significant interactions, take some time to consider what went well and what could be improved. Did you listen actively? Did you demonstrate empathy? Were there moments where you could have been more vulnerable or authentic? By engaging in this reflective practice, we become more attuned to the nuances of communication, more aware of our own impact on others, and more skilled at building and maintaining trust in our relationships. Open dialogue, the pathway to understanding. Open dialogue is the lifeblood of trust. It's the free-flowing exchange of ideas, thoughts, and feelings that allows us to connect with others on a deeper level, to understand their perspectives, and to build bridges of shared meaning. To foster open dialogue, we must create an environment where everyone feels safe to express themselves without fear of judgment or criticism. This requires active listening, empathy, and a genuine curiosity about the other person's perspective. When we truly listen, not just waiting for our turn to speak, but genuinely seeking to understand, we demonstrate respect and build trust. We create a space where vulnerability is welcomed, authenticity is celebrated, and genuine connection can flourish. Affirming progress, celebrating the milestones. As we work to build trust in our relationships, it's important to acknowledge and celebrate the milestones along the way. When we notice positive changes in our communication, when we successfully navigate a challenging conversation, or when we feel a deeper sense of connection with someone, take a moment to recognize and appreciate the progress. This affirmation reinforces positive patterns, encourages further growth, and strengthens the bonds of trust. It's a reminder that our efforts are making a difference, that we're building something meaningful and lasting. Trust, the foundation of connection. Trust is the invisible thread that weaves together the fabric of our relationships. It's the foundation upon which we build strong connections, share our vulnerabilities, and navigate life's challenges together. By cultivating trust through consistent actions, demonstrating empathy and respect, embracing vulnerability, and fostering open dialogue, we can create a safe haven for authentic communication, where relationships can flourish and thrive. Remember, building trust is an ongoing journey, a continuous process of nurturing and strengthening the bonds that connect us. But the rewards are immeasurable. When we cultivate trust in our relationships, we create a world of possibilities, a world where we can feel safe, supported, and truly connected to the people who matter most to us. Chapter 14. Forging resilient bonds, weaving the tapestry of lasting relationships through communication. Imagine a majestic oak tree, its roots reaching deep into the earth, its branches stretching towards the sky. It has weathered countless storms, endured scorching summers and frigid winters, yet it stands tall, a testament to its resilience, its strength rooted in the intricate network of connections that bind it to the earth and the surrounding ecosystem. Relationships, too, are living organisms, their roots intertwined, their branches reaching out to one another for support, nourishment, and connection. And just as the oak tree's resilience lies in its interconnectedness, so too does the strength of our relationships depend on the intricate web of communication that binds us together. In this chapter, we'll explore the art of forging resilient bonds, those enduring connections that withstand the tests of time, the storms of conflict, and the inevitable changes that life throws our way. We'll discover how communication, when wielded with intention and skill, can weave a tapestry of lasting relationships, creating a support system that nourishes our souls and empowers us to thrive. Beyond words, communication is the lifeblood of connection. Throughout this book, we've explored a myriad of communication skills, from mastering the art of the pause to navigating difficult conversations. But these skills are more than just tools for smoother dialogue. They're the threads that weave together the fabric of our relationships. Think of a master weaver creating an intricate tapestry. Each thread, carefully chosen and skillfully interwoven, contributes to the overall beauty and strength of the design. Similarly, each conversation, each interaction, each shared moment contributes to the intricate tapestry of our relationships. When we communicate with intention, with empathy, and with a genuine desire to connect, we strengthen the bonds that hold us together. We create a web of support, a safe haven where we can be our authentic selves, share our vulnerabilities, and celebrate our triumphs. The pillars of resilience: trust, vulnerability, and growth. Resilient relationships, like resilient individuals, possess a unique combination of strength, flexibility, and adaptability. They can bend without breaking, weather storms without crumbling, and emerge from challenges stronger and more connected than before. But what are the key ingredients that foster this resilience? What are the pillars upon which these enduring bonds are built? Trust, the foundation of safety. Trust is the bedrock of any strong relationship. It's the belief that we can rely on one another, that we can be vulnerable without fear of judgment or betrayal, and that we can navigate life's challenges together, knowing that we have each other's backs. Vulnerability. The courage to connect. Vulnerability is often perceived as a weakness, but in the context of relationships, it's actually a superpower. It's the courage to let down our guards, to share our authentic selves, and to allow others to see us, flaws and all. This vulnerability, this willingness to be open and honest, creates a space for deeper connection and intimacy. Growth, the constant evolution. Resilient relationships are not static. They're constantly evolving, adapting to new circumstances, and growing alongside the individuals within them. This growth requires a willingness to learn, to adapt, and to embrace change, both within ourselves and in our relationships. Nurturing the bonds, practices for lasting connection. Just as a gardener tends to their plants, providing water, sunlight, and nourishment, so too must we tend to our relationships, nurturing the bonds that connect us and fostering their growth. Here are some key practices for cultivating resilient relationships. Prioritize quality time. In our busy lives, it's easy to let relationships fall by the wayside. Make a conscious effort to carve out dedicated time for the people who matter most to you. Whether it's a weekly phone call, a monthly dinner date, or an annual weekend getaway, prioritize those moments of connection and shared experience. Practice active listening. Active listening is more than just hearing words. It's about truly engaging with the other person, paying attention to their verbal and nonverbal cues, and seeking to understand their perspective. This deep listening fosters empathy, builds trust, and strengthens the bonds of connection. Express appreciation. Don't take your relationships for granted. Express your gratitude for the people in your life, acknowledging their contributions, celebrating their successes, and offering support during challenging times. These expressions of appreciation, however small, can go a long way in nurturing the bonds of connection. Embrace conflict constructively. Disagreements and conflicts are inevitable in any relationship. But instead of avoiding them, embrace them as opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. Approach conflicts with a spirit of collaboration, seeking to understand the other person's perspective and find solutions that work for both of you. Celebrate growth and change. Just as individuals grow and change over time, so too do relationships. Embrace these changes, celebrate the milestones, and adapt to the evolving needs and dynamics of your connections. The ripple effects of resilience, stronger together. Resilient relationships are not just a source of personal fulfillment, they have a ripple effect that extends far beyond the individuals involved. Strong, healthy relationships create stronger communities, more supportive workplaces, and a more compassionate and connected world. When we invest in our relationships, we're not just building personal bonds, we're contributing to a greater good. We're creating a network of support that can uplift individuals, strengthen communities, and inspire positive change in the world. The journey of connection, a lifelong endeavor. Building resilient relationships is a lifelong endeavor, a continuous process of nurturing, adapting, and growing alongside the people we care about. It requires effort, intention, and a willingness to embrace the challenges and triumphs that come with shared journeys. But the rewards are immeasurable. Resilient relationships provide us with a sense of belonging, a safe haven in times of storm, and a source of strength and inspiration that empowers us to thrive. They are the anchors that keep us grounded, the compasses that guide us through life's uncertainties, and the tapestries that weave together the rich and vibrant fabric of our lives. Chapter 15. Beyond Conversation, a Transformed Life. The Ripple Effects of Masterful Communication. Imagine a pebble dropped into a still pond. The initial splash creates concentric circles that ripple outward, their gentle undulations reaching the furthest edges of the water. Similarly, the impact of mastering conversation extends far beyond the individual interactions themselves. It creates ripples of confidence, connection, and personal growth that touch every aspect of our lives, transforming not just how we communicate, but how we experience the world. In this final chapter, we'll explore the transformative power of communication, the ways in which the skills we've cultivated throughout this journey can shape our personal and professional lives, deepen our self-understanding, and ultimately lead to a more fulfilling and connected existence. From awkward silence to effortless expression. The confidence revolution. Remember those initial pangs of anxiety, the dread of awkward silences, the struggle to find the right words. As you've progressed through this book, you've likely experienced a shift. The fear has subsided, replaced by a quiet confidence, an inner knowing that you can navigate any conversational terrain with grace and ease. This newfound confidence is not just about feeling comfortable in social situations, it's a catalyst for personal and professional growth. It empowers you to forge deeper connections. With the fear of awkwardness diminished, you can approach conversations with a sense of openness and curiosity, allowing for deeper connections to form. Imagine engaging in meaningful dialogues with friends, family, and colleagues, sharing your thoughts and feelings with authenticity and vulnerability. Embrace new opportunities. Confidence is the key that unlocks doors. Whether it's networking at a conference, presenting your ideas in a meeting, or simply striking up a conversation with a stranger, your newfound communication skills will empower you to seize opportunities and make a lasting impression. Navigate challenges with grace. Life inevitably throws curveballs our way. But with the ability to communicate effectively, you can navigate challenges with greater resilience and composure. Imagine approaching difficult conversations with clarity and empathy, resolving conflicts constructively, and emerging from adversity stronger and more connected than before. The power of connection. Building bridges in a divided world. In an age of increasing digital interaction, where screens often replace face-to-face encounters, the ability to connect with others on a human level is more valuable than ever. Masterful communication allows us to bridge the divides that separate us, to foster understanding, and to build communities based on empathy and shared values. Imagine a world where misunderstandings are minimized. With clear and compassionate communication, we can reduce the risk of misinterpretations, avoid conflicts, and foster a culture of mutual respect and understanding. Empathy prevails. By actively listening and seeking to understand different perspectives, we can cultivate empathy and compassion, bridging the gaps between individuals and communities. Collaboration thrives. Effective communication is the foundation of successful collaboration. Imagine teams working together seamlessly, ideas flowing freely, and collective goals being achieved through the power of shared understanding and open dialogue. Unlocking your potential. The journey of self-discovery. The journey of mastering conversation is not just about improving our interactions with others, it's also a journey of self-discovery. As we learn to express ourselves clearly, listen actively, and engage with others authentically, we gain a deeper understanding of our own thoughts, feelings, and values. This self-awareness, this intimate knowledge of who we are and what we stand for, empowers us to live with purpose. When we understand ourselves more fully, we can make choices that align with our values and pursue goals that resonate with our deepest aspirations. Build authentic relationships. Authenticity is the foundation of genuine connection. By embracing our true selves and communicating honestly, we attract relationships that nourish our souls and support our growth. Make a meaningful contribution. When we know our strengths and passions, we can use our voices and our communication skills to make a positive impact on the world around us. Beyond the words, a life transformed. The true magic of mastering conversation lies not just in the words themselves, but in the ripple effects they create. As we cultivate our communication skills, we cultivate a more fulfilling and connected life, one characterized by deeper relationships. Imagine relationships built on trust, vulnerability, and open communication, where you feel safe to be your authentic self and share your deepest thoughts and feelings. Greater confidence. Imagine approaching any social situation with poise and ease, knowing that you have the skills to navigate conversations with grace and confidence. Enhance creativity. Imagine a mind that is open to new ideas, able to connect seemingly disparate concepts and spark innovative solutions. Increased resilience. Imagine navigating life's challenges with greater composure and resilience, knowing that you have the communication skills to resolve conflicts, seek support, and build bridges of understanding. The journey continues, a lifelong pursuit of connection. The journey of mastering conversation is not a destination, but a lifelong pursuit. It's a continuous process of learning, growing, and refining our communication skills, adapting to new situations, and deepening our connections with the world around us. As you move forward, remember that every interaction, every conversation is an opportunity to practice, to refine your skills, and to create meaningful connections. Embrace the challenges, celebrate the triumphs, and never stop exploring the vast and wondrous landscape of human communication. The words we speak, the silences we embrace, and the connections we forge have the power to shape not just our conversations but our lives. So go forth with confidence, curiosity, and a genuine desire to connect. The world is waiting to hear your voice.